Good morning, everyone, and I want to welcome several esteemed guests this morning. Stacey Asrani, Executive Director of the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation, Dave Buck, Senior Vice President of our beloved Phillies, and of course, Michael Jack Schmidt, who needs no introduction. This group has come together around an issue that affects us all, melanoma. While it's one of the city's biggest goals to get more people outside enjoying all the wonderful sights and activities throughout Philadelphia, it's important to be safe while out in the sun, which is not out today. That's why we've joined RDK Melanoma Foundation to become part of the Sun Smart America initiative. As part of this initiative, we will be placing free sunscreen dispensers, like this one here, in parks and public areas around the city and educating residents about the importance of being sun smart. And someone who has a complexion and skin like myself needs to be extra careful. I also have to thank key contributor to this effort, Independence Blue Cross, for helping to fund these dispensers. To tell a little bit more about Sun Smart America and keeping safe in the sun, I'd like to introduce Stacey Asrani.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Kenny, and special thank you to the City of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Phillies organization, and Independence Blue Cross. I'm Stacey Asrani. I'm the Executive Director of the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation, and on behalf of the foundation, we are really excited about this powerful partnership to create Sun Smart America City right here in Philadelphia. We are thrilled and thankful to have Mike Schmidt on our team. Mike had a vision of making this city a Sun Smart America city and inspiring Philadelphians to be sun smart. This initiative speaks to our mission of prevention and early detection of skin cancer through education and modifying behaviors. We accomplish this through our K-12 curriculum and through getting out in the community to promote awareness of skin cancer, especially melanoma. Our newest initiative, which we're talking about today, involves making sunscreen dispensers accessible so it's easy for people to protect themselves from sun damage and skin cancer. The dispensers are manufactured by our partner BrightGuard, and they provide 30 SPF sunscreen and should be applied every 2 hours. Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States, and most cases of melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, are caused by exposure to ultraviolet light. To lower your skin cancer risk, protect your skin from the sun, avoid indoor tanning beds, skin cancer is preventable. We are launching this initiative today in Philadelphia and plan on taking this program to other cities across the United States as we spread the message of sun safety and help save lives. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tony Coletta, Executive Vice President and President of Facilitated Health Networks for Independence Blue Cross.
Thanks, Stacey. How cool is this? What a lineup to be a part of, huh? Growing up in the Philadelphia region, I never imagined I'd wind up standing here at City Hall with a Hall of Famer. So it's great to be here. And growing up here, I also spent countless hours outside, from the beach to the baseball field. Mike Schmidt has talked about it often in his great work with the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation about spending his childhood outdoors without protection. It was the same for me. When I grew up and became a surgeon, though, I saw the toll that cancer takes on individuals and families. I knew that melanoma was often the first step of a terrible journey. I understood that despite the best efforts of doctors, it's already too late for some patients by the time we see them. As a health insurance leader, I know that keeping people well is even better than getting them well after they're sick. And I know that healthy habits start early. That's why I'm so pleased on behalf of our CEO, Dan Hilferty, and everyone at Independence Blue Cross to talk about our support of striking out melanoma. For hundreds of thousands of kids every year, a trip to Citizens Bank Park becomes an indelible summer memory. And for me, it was a couple parks before Citizens Bank Park. Now, thanks to the City of Philadelphia, the Melanoma Foundation, and the Phillies, that experience will be tied in their minds to the importance of using sunscreen. That's a lesson that will save lives and create a healthier generation of children. At Independence Blue Cross, we have a concept we call Fearless Fit. It basically means that wherever people in this region gather together around healthy activities like baseball, we want to be there. We love working with the Phillies, and we're incredibly proud of Striking Out Melanoma initiative. I want to salute Mayor Kenny and his staff, the incredible team at the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation, Dave Buck and the Phillies, and of course the incomparable Mike Schmidt. With a team like this, we can really strike out melanoma, and we're really excited to be a part of it. Thank you. So I'd like to introduce Dave Buck, Senior Vice President of the Phillies.
Thanks, Doctor. What do you do when the greatest player in Phillies history says he wants to partner with you, with the greatest city in America, with one of the greatest corporate partners in Blue Cross, to fight a disease that I can probably guarantee affects everybody here, whether it's family, friends, or neighbors? You say we're all in. I happen to know Mike's the greatest player in Phillies history because our 75-year-old Phillies team historian, she showed me the stats, and he's the greatest player. She's here, Debbie Nacito. Just kidding. I'm just kidding there. Anyway, so what are we doing? This Sunday on our game against the Reds, we're declaring it Melanoma Awareness Day. With part of that, we're going to unveil these sun dispensers at all of our games, all events that we have at Citizens Bank Park. A lot of day games. You sit in the sun for 3 hours. These will be available for everything, for concerts, whatever happens there. Sunday, come to the game, participate in our 50-50 charity drawing, and we're going to donate all our proceeds to the foundation in this effort. We also will have First Ball by Mike Schmidt, and we're also going to unveil a PSA, which I believe we're going to unveil here for the first time.
Hey fans, the Phillies, the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation, and I want you to become Sun Smart. Starting Sunday, May 28th, located at various stations around Citizens Bank Park, will be these sunscreen dispensers. Safe SPF 30 sunscreen is available just by placing your hand right here. It has a mirror too for application on your face. And you can repeat this later in the game when necessary. Take it from me, someone who spent his life in the sun without sunscreen. I paid an enormous price. Applying sunscreen is the first step in skin cancer prevention. So make it a habit when you're exposed to the sun's harmful rays. Be a SunSmart Phillies fan. Find a dispenser near you and help us in the fight against melanoma. For more information, go to melanomafoundation.com.
We're proud to be part of this initiative. Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt.
Okay, appreciate Mayor being here, our team over here. Thank everybody for that. Appreciate Philadelphia media for coming out this morning to help us spread the word. I have a few thank yous as well. Of course, Mayor Kenny, Deborah, his #1 associate right over here, has helped put this whole thing together, as well as the mayor's staff and organizations around the city. Dave Buck, Debbie Nacito has been introduced, Stacey Asrani has spoken, and Warren Green's here too as well, my associate who's helped us put this whole thing together. And the sponsor partners, as mentioned, Dan Helferty from Independence Blue Cross Blue Shield, Tony, who just spoke to you earlier. Michael Rubin from Fanatics has been a big contributor to our project as well, and of course the Fanatics. Now, how'd this all come together? Well, I have to give you a little bit of my story. 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. It's been a long 4 years, but a good 4 years. I'm happy to say right now that my body is cancer-free, but I surely wouldn't want to wish this on anybody. About a year and a half ago, I became associated with the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation, and along with them have become a part of their passion to eliminate skin disease, skin cancer, and melanoma for sure going forward. I was walking at the Central Green at the Navy Yard about a year and a half ago. I was out early in the morning, the sun was out, not a cloud in the sky, and I'm walking around the Central Green, and I realized I didn't have any sunscreen on. And the whole idea of sunscreen in Philadelphia came to my mind. I thought, you know, we have these beautiful dispensers right here. What a great place to start out by putting 2 or 3 of these sun dispensers so people walking and working out in the Central Green at the Navy Yard would have access to sunscreen. And then the next thing came to my mind was, you know, I should contact the mayor, and maybe there's a way we can get the city of Philadelphia to come on board as a partner with this thing. So I contacted the mayor's office. Very shortly after that, I was able to get a meeting with our busy mayor. We sat in a nice room over there with about 10 or 15 people there. Parks and Rec was there. Some other of the Philadelphia people that worked with the mayor were there, and we thought it was a great idea. They were on board. So we started to plan this whole Sun Smart Philadelphia project. And here we are announcing it. We're excited to say that the city is behind it. We're going to be placing sunscreen dispensers in vulnerable sun areas around the city. It's going to be a great next year and a half as we do that. Hopefully our goal is to, someday get into the hundreds around the city, the swimming pools, the parks, all areas where kids are vulnerable and adults as well. And hopefully someday we can get a curriculum in the Philadelphia schools that teach young kids, and that's where it needs to start, young kids, about educating them on the harmful sun's rays. I can tell you right now, I, as a kid, never used sunscreen. I went out, I put some iodine and baby oil all over my body and never got a tan. So we don't want young kids now in Philadelphia doing that. We want them to be sun smart, and we want Philadelphia, as we understand it's going to become, one of America's sun smart cities. So again, thank the mayor and his office for getting behind this, the Phillies for getting behind this. As Dave Buck said, we have an exciting Sunday at the ballpark. May is National Melanoma Awareness Month, and we are here to make everyone aware of melanoma. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. And that is it, I think. We want to close? You want to demonstrate this?
Let me tell you, like, my personal story. When I was born in August of 1958. By July of 1959, I had sun poison because your parents didn't know what they needed to do to protect you because the research and science wasn't there yet. But so, and I know myself, and even now, because of the skin that I have, I try to stay covered up as much as possible. Plus, me on the beach with the shirt on is better with me on the beach with the shirt off. So,
Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt the mayor. I got a handful of sunscreen here.
Go right ahead.
I did not know there was sunscreen in this one. But the whole idea while you're there, if I can demonstrate it, is hand in here, mirror, put it all over your body, and it's just like a hand sanitizer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they work great. I have one in my garage, and I use it every time I go out.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank Mike for bringing this to our attention and making our folks safe, and I want to thank Independence Blue Cross for partner. I mean, they are one of the best, maybe the best corporate partner we might have in the city. They're always involved, and everything is related to health. And looking forward to you throwing out the first pitch on Sunday and not me. That's never.
What about you catching?
I don't even know about that. I honestly, in the campaign when I was running for mayor, I went to a Little League opening up in Mount Airy. And I wasn't a baseball player. I played hockey and football, so I had no real muscle memory about throwing, and I certainly hadn't warmed up. So I find that I'm having to throw out the first pitch for this Little League team, and I didn't want to wing it at the kid because he was like 10 years old, and I pooched it, and it bounced up.
Is there any chance that got on?
It's on tape. Trust me, it's on tape. So the kid picks up the ball, he runs out, puts his mask on his head, and he says, "That's all right, pal, everybody has a bad day." So I am never throwing out the first pitch, trust me. So, but if there's no questions, get.
How many of these will we find in city parks? So we have 3 up on Kelly Drive, Lloyd Hall, and we're going to have an outside City Hall.
3 on Kelly Drive, Lloyd Hall, outside City Hall, near Dilworth. Yeah, and then we'll try to be getting them at the pools. I think the pools are probably a most likely place for them to be. They'll be at the ballpark. I know myself, sitting in the lower bowl at the ballpark, you forget, it's hot and it's middle of the afternoon and you're like, you didn't bring anything with you, and it'd be nice to be able to run back up to the concourse and give yourself a little squirt. Yeah, a dozen to 20, in that regard. Okay? All right, thank you very much.
John, Mayor, thank you so much. Appreciate the partnership.